सर हमने सब कुछ कर दे स्टार्ट हो गया सर माइक डायरेक्ट है क्या हाँ सर हो गई
Hello dear students, how are you all? So I welcome you once again on this wonderful platform Exampur. And yesterday we are solving questions based on tenses, and today we'll continue the same topic. And yesterday those who have attended my class must know that we had solved up to question number 12, and today we will solve from question number 13 to question number 13 to 20. Okay, so this was the question that we had solved yesterday. In this question there was no error. Okay, I explained you the uses of mixed conditional and the rules of mixed conditional. So let's see question number 13. So here we have our question number 13. Suppose she does not agree, what could we do? Suppose she does not agree, what could we do? This is our question number 13. Try to solve this. Suppose she does not agree. Suppose she does not agree, what could we do? What is the error in this sentence? Suppose she does not agree, what could we do? What is the error in this sentence? What is the error in this sentence? See, in this sentence, the very first thing I want you to know that suppose is equivalent to if. Okay, suppose is equivalent to if. So you may find a question where suppose and if are given together. So if ever this happens, if suppose and if are given together, out of these two words one should be omitted. Okay, because suppose is equivalent to if, so both the words cannot be used together. Okay, but here if is not there, only suppose is there. So suppose she does not. Now here we have does, which is present, but if you see in the second part, here we have could, which is past. So if the if clause is in present tense, how can the main clause be in past? So here we need to change could into can. Here we need to change could into can, because the given if clause is in present tense, and since if clause is in present tense, the main clause cannot be in past until and unless it is necessary. Okay, so change could into can. Right? Clear? Any doubt? Any problem? Good morning, Sakshi. Okay, so here we have a question number 14. Here we have our question number 14. Sunita finished her homework just before her mother came back from the market. Sakshi, have you taken the batch? CGL CPO batch? Sakshi, have you purchased the batch or not? Sunita finished her homework just before her mother came back from the market. What is the error in this sentence? Sunita finished her homework just before her mother came back from the market. See, this is a very easy question. Yes, Sakshi, you are absolutely correct. Here we have the word before. Okay, and remember that Okay, Sakshi. Wonderful. So, is everything going good on application class? I'm just asking you so that I may know that classes are going good, or there need to be any, change in my teaching style or whatever. Are those classes going well? Okay. So here we have the word before. And the rule with this word is very simple, that wherever you find the word before, the clause before it must be perfect. Okay. Whenever you find the word before, which is a conjunction, the clause before it must be perfect. Okay. And one more thing, it doesn't matter that there is a clause after before or not. For example, if there is a sentence, I did not see him before. I did not see him before. Just this one. Now there is no clause after before. There is no clause after before. Even in this sentence, we need to change the tense into perfect. So here in place of did not see, we need had not seen. Okay, in place of did not see, we need had not seen. Because whenever you see a conjunction before, you need perfect tense before it. Okay, so here in place of Sunita finished, had finished must be there. Sunita had finished her homework just before her mother came. Okay. Now, the next one. Had he invited me, I would attend the function. Had he invited me, I would attend the function. Had he invited me, I would attend the function. Very easy question, very simple one. This is a conditional sentence, and the if clause of conditional sentence is in past perfect tense, and I have told you that in case if clause is in past perfect, the main clause must have would have plus third form. Okay, so here we have had he invited me. Had he invited me. This is past perfect tense. And since the if clause is in past perfect tense, in main clause we need would have plus third form. This is required. Okay, this is required. So just add have and change attend into attended. Change attend into attended. So the sentence would be, had he invited me, I would have attended the function. Had he invited me, I would have attended the function. This would be the sentence. Okay. Now the next one. Suppose if you are late, you will be in trouble. Suppose if you are late, you will be in trouble. What is the error in this sentence? What is the error in this sentence? See, I just told you about this, that suppose and if are equivalent. I just told you that suppose and if are equivalent. So we need to remove either of the two words. Okay, so suppose is already there, so we will remove if. Okay, suppose is already there, So there is no need of if. So omit if, right? Because suppose and if are equivalent, so we do not need both the words together. Okay, if is superfluous, right? Wonderful. Let's solve the next question. By the time you will be 50, all your children shall have got married. By the time you are 50, all your children shall have got married. What is the error in this sentence? By the time you will be 50, all your children shall have got married. What is the error here? See, this phrase, by the time, this phrase, by the time is equivalent to when. Okay, by the time has same meaning as when. So consider this phrase as when. Now you may be confused seeing by the time, but when I write when in place of by the time, the picture is very much clear, because we all know that when is a subordinate conjunction, and subordinate conjunctions are not followed by future tense. So when I write when in place of by the time, it becomes very easy that after when, future tense will not come. So here in place of will has to be removed, and in place of be we need are. So the sentence would be by the time you are 50, by the time you are 50. And remember one thing, you don't need to remove, you don't need to change by the time into when, because both are equivalent. So whether it is by the time or it is when in a sentence, they mean the same. Okay, so by the time you are 50, all your children shall have got married. Okay, now the next one. Before he joined the company last year, he had worked in a multinational company 2 years ago. Before he joined the company last year, he had worked in a multinational company 2 years ago. What is the error in this sentence? What is the error in this sentence? Before he joined the company 2 years ago, he had worked in a multinational company 2 years before. 2 years ago, sorry. What is the error in this sentence? Can anybody tell me what is the error in this sentence? Now, this is a tricky question. You can get confused. See, here we have the word ago. Okay, here we have the word ago. Now, ago refers to past indefinite tense. Ago refers to past indefinite tense. Okay, for example, we have a sentence. He had seen me 2 years ago. For example, this is the sentence. He had seen me 2 years ago. Now here we have the word ago. and ago refers to past indefinite. So in this sentence, we need to change the tense. Okay, here we need to change had seen into saw. Here we need to change had seen into saw, because ago refers to past indefinite tense. That's why we need to change the past perfect tense into past indefinite. Okay, but in this question the scene is different, because here we have ago. So according to ago, we need to change the sentence into past indefinite. But here we have one more word. Here we have one more word, which is before. Buffering.
तो सही है.
Okay, so I hope that you got the concept. Okay, I hope you got the concept that we cannot change this clause into past indefinite, because if we change this clause into past indefinite, whole sentence will be in a wrong structure. Okay? Whole sentence will be in a wrong structure. Right? Now, let's see the next question. I will wait for you unless you come. I will wait for you. Sakshi Survanshi. Okay. Okay, let me repeat that. Okay. I'm repeating this question. Okay. Right. Now try to understand. Try to understand. What is the rule of before? What is the rule of before? Before is always followed by past indefinite. Before is always followed by past indefinite. Okay, we all know this, that before is always followed by past indefinite, right? And the other clause, okay, before is followed by past indefinite, and the other clause of the sentence must be in past perfect. Okay, so right after the word before, we need a past indefinite tense, and the remaining clause must be in past perfect. Okay, now this sentence can also be written, like this: before plus past indefinite. Before plus past indefinite. So what we have done, we have just bought this part, before plus past indefinite, in the beginning. Okay, in the beginning. So before plus past indefinite, and the remaining clause is past perfect. And the remaining clause is past perfect. So this sentence can be written in either of the two ways. Okay, before plus past indefinite and past perfect in the beginning. We can also write this sentence as this one, because we have done, we have brought this before plus past indefinite in the beginning. Before plus past indefinite in the beginning, and past perfect is here. Okay, so both the ways are absolutely correct. The logic is that after the word before, we need a past indefinite. After the word before, we need a past indefinite, and the remaining clause must be in past perfect. Okay, so both the sentences follows this rule. After the word before, we need past indefinite and remaining clause in past perfect. And if we write the same sentence in this way, here also the rule is there, the word before is followed by past indefinite and the remaining clause in past perfect. Okay? Now, if we see this sentence, here we have before. Here we have before. And as I told you that before must be followed by past indefinite. Before must be followed by past indefinite. So here we have past indefinite, subject, here we have second form, and the company is object. Now, before must be followed by past indefinite and past indefinite is there. That means this clause is absolutely correct. We don't need to change this clause. Now, before is followed by past indefinite, before is followed by past indefinite, and the remaining clause of the sentence must be in past perfect. If before is followed by past indefinite, the remaining clause must be in past perfect. So whether the remaining clause is in the beginning or it is at the end, it doesn't matter. Whether the remaining clause is in the beginning or it is at the end, it doesn't matter. Before is followed by past indefinite tense and the remaining clause must be in past perfect. So here before is followed by past indefinite tense, which is absolutely correct. Now the remaining clause must be in past perfect. The remaining clause must be in past perfect. So this clause too is in past perfect. This is subject, then had, and then third form of verb. So the remaining clause must be in past perfect. So here this clause is also in past perfect. This is also absolutely correct. No problem. So both the clauses are in a correct structure. Both the clauses are very well structured. Now, the problem is with the word ago. Problem is with the word ago. We all know that ago refers to past indefinite tense. So when you see ago, you try to change this clause into past indefinite. But if you change this clause according to the word ago, the whole structure of the sentence will be disturbed, because this sentence has the word before, and after the word before we need a past indefinite and the remaining clause must be in past perfect. So the structure is fine. If you try to change the structure according to ago, the whole structure will be disturbed. Now what to do? So the simple thing is ago and before. Ago and before are equivalent. Ago and before are equivalent. Okay. The only difference between ago and before is that you use ago with past indefinite and before with past perfect. We use ago with past indefinite clause and before with past perfect clause. Otherwise, meaning of both the words are same. So here you just need to change ago into before. Okay? Did you get the concept now? Did you get the concept now? Yes. Okay, tell me one thing. Have you studied direct indirect? Have you studied direct indirect narration? Have you studied narration? In narration, what we do? Past indefinite is changed into past perfect. Past indefinite is changed into past perfect, and the word ago is changed into before. you must know this rule. You must know this rule that ago has to be changed into before while changing a past indefinite tense into past perfect. So if there is a sentence, he said, I went to Delhi 2 years ago. If this is a direct sentence, it must be changed into indirect, like he said that he had gone to Delhi 2 years before. Okay. So, why do we change ago? Why do we change ago into before? While changing a direct sentence into indirect, while changing a past indefinite into indirect, we need to change ago into before. And why do we need so? Because ago is used for past indefinite, but it cannot be used with past perfect. With past perfect, ago should be replaced by before. And since past indefinite has to be changed into past perfect while changing it into indirect, ago should also be changed into before. Okay? Now, I hope that you have got the logic. Okay? Now the next one. I will wait for you unless you come. I will wait for you unless you come. Now this is a very important and very tricky question. This is a very important and very tricky question. I want you to answer this question. I want you to answer this question. Priyanka, what is the error in the first part? You said first part has error. Okay, you said first part has error. I want you to tell that what is the error in the first part. Why Sakshi? Sakshi and Akash said until in place of unless. I want to know what is the logic, what is the concept. Why do you want to change unless into until? Why do you want to change unless into until? I want to know. See, the answer is absolutely correct that we need until in place of unless. Okay, we need until in place of unless. But why do we need? How can you determine that whether a condition has been described in the sentence or the time? How can we determine that until has to be used or unless has to be used? Okay, Sakshi said because until shows time. Now my question is, how can you explain this? How can you explain this that in this sentence time has not been mentioned and condition has been mentioned, or condition has not been mentioned, time has been mentioned? How can you determine this? And I don't want you to answer me that according to Hindi translation. Don't go for Hindi translation. Just try to understand this question in English itself. Okay, guys, it's time. Okay, let me explain. Let me explain. See, unless I am telling you a very simple way. How can you determine that until has to be used or unless has to be used? Okay, I am telling you a very simple way. See, if there is unless in a sentence, just try replacing it with if plus subject plus do or does or did plus v1 plus object. Just try to change unless into this. Just try to change unless with this. If you replace unless with the if clause and it still gives a meaning, it means unless is absolutely correct. And if the word unless cannot be changed into if clause, it means the use of unless is wrong. For example, if I write, I will wait for you unless you come. Okay, now you might be confused that whether to use unless or until. Now try to change unless into if clause. So if I write the sentence this way, I will wait for you, that I change the word unless into if you do not come. So what I have done here, I have just changed the unless clause into if clause. I have changed the unless clause into if clause. Now, if the sentence is still correct, it means the use of unless is correct. And if this sentence is not correct, it means the use of unless is also not correct. Now read the sentence. I will wait for you if you do not come. Is this sentence correct? Is this sentence correct? I will wait for you if you do not come. So if someone is not coming, I will wait for you if you do not come. If someone is not coming, how can I wait for him? Can I wait for someone who is not coming? No, it is not possible. So when I change unless into if clause, this sentence gives no meaning. It means that both the sentences are wrong. Both the sentences. Here the use of unless is wrong. Unless is correct only if it can be changed into a negative if clause. So both the sentences have same meaning. Both the sentences have same meaning. What I have done, I have just changed the word unless into if clause. So if this sentence is correct, the use of unless is correct. But if this sentence is not correct, it means the use of unless is incorrect. Okay, so the second sentence says, I will wait for you if you do not come. So how can I wait for someone if they do not come? This sentence is absolutely wrong. If this sentence is wrong, it means the use of unless is also wrong. So here in place of unless, we need until. We need until. Hope you got the concept. Hope you got the concept. Okay? You got the concept or not? Please tell me. Okay. So time over for today. Tomorrow we will continue the same topic. Okay? Tomorrow we will continue the same topic. Right? For today, time over. Actually, due to some technical glitch, class started a bit late. So I could give only 40 minutes to this class. But tomorrow we'll resume this topic. Okay? See you tomorrow.
तो क्लास एंड करना